So with the range, we can either look at the graphing calculator, but sometimes you might not always have a graphing calculator. So with this function, we're actually lucky. So we're going to look at two parts. We're going to look at the y value of our vertex and this sign in front of our function. So this sign means that the function is flipped. So the function, a quadratic function, it's usually the parabola facing up. But then when you have a negative like this, it means that the parabola is going to be flipped down. So it's going to be facing down. And a vertex on a parabola like this will look like this. The vertex is always either the maximum point or the minimum point. You see? It's kind of the maximum minimum point of your parabola. So in this case, our maximum point is negative 5, 7, because the parabola is flipped upside down like this. So this is how you can tell your range. So it's saying so since this is your maximum, you can indicate that your maximum value is from negative infinity, because it's going down, it's decreasing, it's facing down. And you say negative infinity first because you always want to write your intervals from least value to the greatest value. So negative infinity to 7, and 7 is your maximum point of the graph. So now with your vertical intercept, it's the same as your y-intercept, right? So with that, in order to find your y-intercept, you do the same thing as your x-intercept. But instead of looking for y at 0, you have to look for x at 0. So just remember, your y-intercept is founded when your x equals 0, right? So now we're going to plug in 0 into the function where we see x. So right now we have negative 1/4 parentheses 0 plus 5 square plus 7, right? And don't forget your y. We're looking for our y, or our f of x. F of x equals y in this case. It's just a different notation to write your y. So y equals, let's add everything up. Negative 1/4. 0 plus 5 is 5. 5 squared is 25. So negative 1/4 times 25 plus 7. And remember, PEMDAS, we won't add 25 to 7 yet because we have to multiply first. PEMDAS, remember this because you'll be using this for everything. P as in parentheses, E as in exponents, M as in multiplication, D as in division, A as in plus, S as in minus. And you have to do these in order or else you won't get the correct answer. So in this case, we will multiply first because multiplication is before addition. So negative 1/4 times 24. So that will be negative 25 over 4 plus 7. And in order to combine these together, we would have to find the ratio of 7 over 4. Yes. So we can think like, what times 4? What times 7? Okay, how can I say this? Okay, if we want to make the denominator for 7 4, because right now the bottom for 7 is 1. That's why you can, any number over 1 is itself. Okay, that's another math rule. But we want to change this denominator. So we will multiply it by 4 because we want these to have the same denominator in order to add them up. So let's multiply the bottom and top, okay? As long as you do the same thing for each side, the thing is still the same. The number is still the same. So now we have y equals negative 25 over 4 plus, remember 7 times 4 is 28. 1 times 4 is 4. And then we have the same denominator. It's very important to have the same bottom, because if you don't, you cannot put it together when you're adding or subtracting. So now we add it together. Negative 25 over 4 plus 28 over 4 will be 3/4. And this will be your y-intercept, or your vertical intercept.